Today we are starting a new series called Be With Me Coach. Thanks to these savvy business owners, entrepreneurs, and creatives, you will get front seat action to real world business problems and receive tangible, attainable, and even sustainable solutions plus strategies. So these amazing men and women have allowed me to use their situations so you can start elevating the way you show up and sell online. Let's go. Hi, welcome. So, if you stumble on a random episode, this is a no BS marketing and branding, entrepreneurship plus lifestyle podcast for business owners, entrepreneurs, and creatives, and even those of you who are ready to expand and revamp the way you show up and even sell online. I'm your future coach, Teresa G. and today it is the start of this new series called Be With Me Coach. And I thought it was a no-brainer. This is a highly thought out series, which just made absolute sense to do. Now, I don't know how many parts I will put out, but what I do know is that I have a lot of business owners that gave me the green light to use them as an example with their real world business issues and concerns. So you can start showing up a bit more confidently and even revamp the way you sell. So, since this is a new series and a new pretty much things that I'm doing, I would love your feedback in whatever platform you are listening this podcast episode in, which is YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other major platforms. It would be gladly appreciated. Now, let's hop right in. So this is MARRA. She's a brand designer located in Arizona. And in early 2022, she was part of my Structure Me Coach program. And it's a 10-week structured program where we dissect your entire business and reconstruct, including goal setting, branding, brand strategy, marketing, and even client retention. Now, on Monday, we got on a 60-minute standard session, and her main issue was after working with me last year, she was being booked 4 to 6 months in advance. But now this year, she has had difficulty getting those same results and has a cloudy idea on what to do next. And so I want you to see what a 60-minute standard session with me did to her mind.
So basically where I'm at right now is that people are, it's kind of like where I was before, like at this point where I'm kind of concerned that the clientele, the audience that I had before might be adjusting.
Okay.
I think I either need to provide more of a variety of price options for people coming through to give them more of a variety to choose from, or I need to not market so specifically to small businesses and possibly market towards businesses that are farther along in their process and possibly bringing in a little more revenue, because a lot of businesses are interested, but the budget is at least too big for them right now. It's weird because last year I wasn't getting as many people that said that their budget, when I talk to people, they're literally sitting and saying like, I've been wanting to work with you for a really long time. I love your work. I completely agree with everything that you're saying. I think that what you're asking for is completely acceptable and fair for what it is that you're providing. And I want to work with you, but I wasn't prepared for that number. And now I need to sit back and I need to figure out how I can get my budget up to that number so we can work together. So it's not so much people don't like the number or they feel like it's too much for them. It's like this year specifically, it's been a lot of people saying like, hey, I want to, but I need to focus that on something else. And it's hard because a lot of my clients are moms. A lot of my clients are single moms too. So I understand it's not like I'm sitting here and I'm saying, oh, I don't think they're appropriately directing their money where it needs to go. But I do think that for some of the businesses that maybe are in their first 2 years of business, I need to provide something for them as well, instead of just something for the businesses that are super farther along. Because even the businesses that are smaller, I want to be able to provide them something and not only have to provide them a tool for when they're at that next part of their business. So a lot of people, when we're talking about small business, even though the definition of small business isn't just people who have like who aren't bringing in as much revenue as what we would call like a corporate business. So I think when I'm marketing to small businesses, it's bringing in more of these people who are doing it as a hobby and like a side business, right? So I either need to go back and reword what it is that I'm doing, or I need to simplify and make some smaller price options for clients that are not at that point where they have that budget yet. So, for example, one of my ideas was creating a course for businesses that are like within their first 2 years and they're still trying to figure out exactly who their audience is. And they kind of just need something that has their name, that looks professional, that they can feel confident putting out there, but doesn't really need all the bells and whistles that like a full branding package would have, because they're at the point now where they don't really have that big of a budget and they just need to get it out and see if people will interact with it. So I was thinking about providing like a budget course that would allow people, I could teach people how to create their own branding, like just a text only logo, just teach them how to make like a very simplified color palette, and then just like establish a purpose and send them on their way. And it's something that they do on their own. So more of like a walkthrough of how to do it on their own. And that's really something they could make in Canva if they wanted to. So kind of looking at options for that, as well as just creating products for those people, because I got a lot of people looking at my stuff that are smaller businesses that I know I could be getting additional revenue from, but it needs to be smaller. It needs to be like $100 and under. Some products that I can just put out there and just get passive income from. So I did, for the last few days, I've been looking up like how to make Squarespace templates and sell Squarespace templates, because I do have a client in Houston that I have been working with for about 2 years now. And, she told me, I have a lot of therapists who also need to brand themselves because that's what she provides. And she's like, they really just need a website to look professional. They don't want to go through the whole branding process. They just need a website with their name to kind of get their products out there. And website templates can go anywhere from like $100 to $300 per piece. And they just have to be downloaded. So just kind of options like that, because if I only brought in income from the clients that took just the services that I have now, I can only make as much as the amount of work that I can take in as one person at that time. And they're pretty intensive and they take a lot of work. So it's kind of capping me at the amount of money I can make. And when we have slow seasons like what we're doing now, I can't bring in anything if people don't have that budget right now, which like Christmas time and stuff like that, they're either putting it all towards their business or they're just not looking at making additional payments and stuff right now, which is kind of where I think people are at. So yeah, that's I don't want to rebrand again. Obviously, I don't think I'm at the point now where I would even rebrand. I don't think it would make sense, but I do think I need to go through with a fine-tooth comb with my wording and my audience and just kind of see where the disconnect is. You see what I'm saying? It's different last year. Last year I was booked out 4 months in advance. Around this time I was booked out. And year, yeah, it's just not like that this year. And I'm getting the people coming in. But they're all just kind of like, and I actually had a meeting with one of my past clients here in person, and we were just talking, and she's part of the industry that does really well with me, like beauty industry and stuff like that. And I told her, I said, it's crazy, some of even the other businesses around here, you know, I've talked with them and they're all just like, I want to do this, but do you have something smaller? I want to do this, but I don't have the budget right now. I'm gonna have to come back. And I told her it's kind of tough because it feels like the numbers that I have, even though I feel like they're anywhere from like average to below average with some of the other competitors that I've seen, I said, people just don't have the budget. And she looked at me, she's like, they don't. She's like, these businesses, they don't have the budget for the numbers that you're bringing. She's like, I don't think you're overcharging. She's like, but if you want to bring in more people, you're going to have to adjust. She's like, these people just don't have the budget. Which sometimes seems kind of tough for me to understand, because the beauty businesses are bringing in a lot the last few years. The eyelash techs, the makeup artists, the hairstylists, the estheticians, things like that. So I'm like, where's kind of the disconnect here? Am I offering too much? Am I offering too little? So I'm kind of scrambled, and it's kind of putting me at this point where I have the time to sit there and really focus on one thing and like launch it and move it forward. But there's just so many directions in which I feel like could be the issue that I'm kind of having trouble narrowing down what to put my efforts towards.
I definitely understand what you're going through. And what I think is, you don't so much have to adjust, you have to adapt.
Yeah,
You're changing now.
yeah,
Because adjusting would mean literally changing everything you've done last year or everything that we've done last year,
yeah,
which there is no point, because
yeah,
what you're offering right now for the price that you're offering is great. It's top tier. But the
yeah,
problem is, people that you work with, small business, female entrepreneurs. Yes, the word small, it could be like people from Etsy, right? I
yeah,
always like people from Etsy, or people that just doing it as a side hustle. And
yeah,
sometimes we do have to adjust our messaging, how we talk, how we present ourselves, how we, put out our services, and also
mm-hmm,
adapt to what's happening now.
mm-hmm.
Because yes, even though the beauty industry is bringing a lot, it really doesn't mean that they're going to give that amount.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because in more technical terms, people are being cheap with their businesses. And they've always,
yeah, yeah,
it's nothing that we really can do, but this is why we had to adapt. For you, adapting would mean doing something else other than brand design within your niche.
yeah. No, I agree with you. And I've been looking at like affiliate marketing and things like that. And it's crazy because I have all the skills for it, but it's just kind of one of those things that's seems like an open concept to me that I'm not really sure where to get started. But I'm one of those people that, as you probably know, like, it's really hard for me to follow through with something if I don't think that I have all of the tools to do it the right way, or that I am doing it
Yeah.
the right way. You know what I mean?
Perfectionism.
Yeah, yeah,
It's yes. And that's something that I hope to work with you right now with.
yeah,
It's gonna take time, right? One setting, one setting's not gonna work. You're not
right.
gonna change overnight. But with you, when it comes to adapting the digital course world, and you can do the affiliate. So really just doing things within your niche that align with what you do. That way you don't feel like you're completely changing who you are. Uh,
Yeah,
because even myself, I don't know if you noticed, but I had to completely adapt to what's going on now. I
I
had
noticed.
to start doing digital stuff. I had to start doing the way I speak. I don't talk with like jargon and all that stuff, because they're not gonna
Yeah,
understand what I'm. So
yeah,
yes, people still, work with me, but it does take a little bit more effort, a little bit more work,
mhm,
a little bit more.
yeah,
This is why you actually need it, and emotional branding, right? So
yeah,
you have to work on your personal brand, Mara. Okay. And if you want to reach a certain level in your business where you don't have to feel like you're being fake, or you're just like doing too much, we want to work with things that you already know and what you like. So last night, actually, I was just thinking uh, things that you like to do and that you've shown not that much, but still you have to be creative when it comes to the things you do.
Yeah.
You can be creative with our work, with our clients, but with us, we have to be creative. So things that you like to do that I know that you like to do, vintage, thrifting and things like that. So I was thinking last night, incorporating small business female, entrepreneur. I still don't have the grasp yet, but with like vintage, like why it matters. Why are you attracting females? Why is your target audience small business female entrepreneurs? What's the reason? Why can't it be somebody else or another group? So when it comes to that, just really adjusting your offer suite. So adding more to it as opposed to going, or even you don't have to lower your prices. So for that, you can have that. You can leave it how it is, but just adding what people like and what people want now.
Yeah.
Which is like the templates, which I 100% agree with that. Doing templates, doing the course.
Yeah.
Of course, because people want to do it themselves, right?
Yeah, they do. And they want it to be quick.
We just want to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
So we're like, kind of need somebody. Damn, is that
yeah.
But that course, you're doing a mini course, for example, this is for very beginning, small business. This is why I do a course. I don't know if you saw my course, but like starting a business, right? I knew I needed to do a course that way because when people start their business, right, there's the legal side of it. And then there's the marketing and branding side of it where they're just like, oh, well, it looks pretty. And then they're, so that's why I decided to do a course where I teach you actually brand strategy, like super simple, super, whatever. So doing that, Marra, I think it's going to take a little time, but it's worth it. Yeah. Because now that's passive, right? You can just, if you don't you have a slow season, you can get on your social media and just talk about your course or talk about your product and why they need to download it, why they need to buy it. If you don't have money for a brand strategy or brand design right now, you can take this course, which is at your own pace, and then you do the whole wording thing later. But you know what I mean?
What's your feedback?
Right now, it's digital.
How has your feedback been on those courses from people? How's your feedback been?
So when I first did it, so the way I did it for free. I don't recommend doing it that way. That's, I'm crazy sometimes. Like, I'm like, maybe let's see. Right. So it was hard. It was hard the first like 2 months. Yeah. That's the thing. And I knew this, but I just wanted to see like if it was true. Pricing is so important. Pricing and perception, the way things are portrayed. Like, okay, so I did it for free just to test it out. The 5 people that were in, like, how they like it. Oh, great. Didn't even finish the course. So that was then I put it up for $99, right? I got 2 people that bought it. They're like, okay, great. No. So my last pricing was $777 for the same course. And because I did that, now I have 15 people that finished the course.
Wait a second. So you said you went from offering it to $0 and you went from offering $0 to $99 to, did you say $777?
Yeah. So if you go right now, it's $777.
And 15 people grabbed it at 17
and finished the course.
Do you think because how many people took it compared to how many people bought it compared to when you were just giving it away for free? Did as many people actually come through?
When I first did it at $0, they're like, oh yeah, this is awesome because I wanted to start my business. I wanted to do this and do that. Now, because it's at their own pace, shit happens, right? They're like, oh, whatever. So like maybe at $0, they can actually start a business. It's marketed 90 days or less. Girl, 20 people for free, because that's what I was doing for Facebook groups. I didn't put it out there like that. I didn't for free, And so 20 people took it, didn't finish it. And I was like, okay, this is not working. So I kept upping up the price until I did $777. 777, it's a lucky number, right? It's your lucky day. $777. And 15 people finished it. And I was just like,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Isn't that that's like almost upsetting.
And the thing is, if I sit right now and just market it, that's like the only thing that I'll market. I'm sure I just want the energy to market. So it's in my anniversary. It's there. You want to take it, cool. But I'm trying to do the other thing that I was telling you about right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't do it for free because I was just testing to see like what's inside, if you like it, if it's easy, if it's, you understand it. It's, I'll give you all the links. Man, that course took the life out of me when
Yeah. Yeah.
creating it.
Well, it was mostly video probably, right? With just a
Yeah, it was
few
video, but I did two things, video and
like
PDFs.
yeah.
All nice and everything. So that took a lot, because I don't do graphic stuff. I was like, oh my God, this is good.
No, it's a lot of work. These courses, it's not tough to make. And I
Yeah.
mean, the thing is you could make it really easy and you can make it really tough for yourself. But
Yeah.
even, if you're not used to doing stuff like that, even the
Yeah.
easy route can be really hard for some people. But that's kind of what I want to do with the branding on a budget course. And, even if it could be something as simple as quick as a five
And you know
minute.
why that would sell? Because people are looking to do it themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you
So the
first start your
biggest,
business, you want to do it yourself. I don't say you don't feel like you need somebody at this
yeah.
stage of your business right now. So offering
Yeah.
that, even at like a mini course, I would say a mini course that has maybe four modules, 3 lessons a piece, selling it at maybe at a $199 price point, or even a
That's
$299
exactly.
price point, and then going over TikTok where you see the most traffic and just market every day, girl, you're gonna see sales.
I think I think you're right, because what I was trying to do is I was trying to tell myself, okay, the people who have reached out to me and I didn't work with yet, what did people ask me for that I just didn't have? And it was a lot of people saying like, hey, I just need logo. I just need it to be this text. I don't need it to be like anything else. I just open this business, whatever. I don't need all this extra stuff. And I'm like, okay. And it's been hard for me because, I really wanted to sit on this whole like, oh, well, this is what my business is about. It's about strategy. It's about knowing your whole business, whatever. But I have to come to like an understanding that like just not everyone's at there yet. And a lot of the businesses that I am working with now were at a different point before. And this also would help me that if I help these people on a budget, then, after the first 2 years, when they have that and it worked out for them, they'll kind of be like, oh, now I have the money to go back and actually work with this girl and actually have her do an entire branding thing. Right. And like $200, $300 is about what some people would pay for like an expensive Fiverr logo with like no communication and
Yeah.
like no confidence whatsoever. So I think between $200 and $300 is a decent price point. And that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking about $199. So I think between the course and the Squarespace templates, I don't want to add like too much onto
No, just add
my
those two
services.
things.
I was, and then maybe,
Course, that's gonna take you the longest. The template,
yeah,
maybe have 3 different templates. More than that, you're now overdoing it. I feel like, or like killing yourself. Like, okay, but like basics, right? So who you're working with small business owners that are females, right? In what
yeah,
industry? Beauty industry. So having a beauty template, having
yeah,
therapist like template, um, in and out. I don't know what other industry more, or like food maybe, or food template. But having three, because psychologically we can't take anymore. We too many options. We're done.
yeah,
Fine. Especially, and then you're talking about somebody that just started, and you want to make it as easy as possible, but also get that income in.
yeah, yeah,
So 3 options with the templates, and then your mini course pricing at 189. Like, oh, need more in depth? Take this course. Have some maybe pricing options. What's it called?
yeah.
Not pricing options, but
I mean, even packaging the Squarespace templates with branding on a budget course, because then someone
yeah,
could really launch their
yeah,
entire business, and
yeah.
like
And
a
that's
feature
even
page.
something that you can do later. Like, okay, you have your templates, you have your mini course, want it all 3 together, or want
Yeah.
all 2 together. So that's adapting.
My biggest issue is selling. My biggest issue is that I don't sell ever.
Okay.
That's my
Well, you
biggest
have
issue.
to.
I know, and I don't know, I don't know why it's tough for me to do that, and I'm still on this, you know, teeter-totter of listing my prices for my larger packages and stuff like that on the actual website. um I never know if it works against me or not, because I am in this field where people either know exactly what I'm talking about with my business or they don't know, and if they don't, they're not going to see the value in it. But I think that if I have those other courses on there showing their price points, and then I have a form for them reaching out to me about the bigger packages, I think that'll be good. Um, but I also have been considering adding onto my offer suite like coaching options. But you know,
Why do you think they need it?
here's the problem is I have a lot of people who try to have conversations for brand strategy through my DMs. I think people need it for reassurance and just being like, oh, well, maybe I don't need to rebrand my entire business. Maybe I just need to adjust something in my strategy. And so they don't want to go through this whole workshop because they're not fully confident that they need to rebrand their entire business. They think that maybe they just need to strategize something differently. So I don't know if it's going to cause more issues in my business to offer coaching, or if it's going to help me. Partly, you know, I would love to just offer the course as what it is, but I feel like the workshop, but I feel like there's no point in doing the
I mean,
workshop.
you can add a 60-minute strategy session. You don't have to
Yeah.
go in depth with brand strategy because you know how in depth that is. So
Yeah,
if
exactly.
you want to just add that coaching aspect, sure, yes, you can. But I personally don't think you'll need it, only
Yeah.
because what you're doing, you're designing, brands,
Yeah.
you're designing visuals do require some brand strategy, if not really big brand strategy, but because they don't have the budget. So adding a coaching aspect, that means you would have to raise the
Yeah.
price on the coaching aspect, which you're going back at zero then.
Right. Right. You're right. And I
So
think that was the issue I was running into when I started thinking about pricing. Um, yeah, because if I really did offer brand strategy
you're
as
talking about
say,
like thousands
yeah,
of dollars.
my packages would like double or triple than with where they're at now.
So
No.
doing the maybe a 60-minute strategy session just to clarify things, okay, and doing in a way where you're teaching and and then upselling the course in that strategy
Yeah.
session or
Yeah.
upselling the template in that strategy session. In order for you to take this strategy session, you're going to have to also do the course or
Right. Right.
by do it in that way. That's
Yeah.
a strategy session for you. For them, it
Right.
would be like, this is not a $3,000 package. Yes, I could
Right.
do 299, 399, even 499. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So now
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
not trading time for money each time.
I need to not break up what I have now, the offers that I have now. I need to keep the offers that I have now, and you're right, just add on to them,
Mhm.
add some smaller tier ones, because I'm really at the point where I only have high dollar offers right now, high dollar. Um, so I do need to have something more of a mid-range and something more of a lower range. And that mid-range is going to be the Squarespace templates, and then the low range will be the Canva templates, and probably, I guess the branding course is still kind of, I don't want to offer something that's like under $100 on my page, if I'm being totally honest. And
But
I
you
don't
don't
really,
have to. It could be literally under 199. I mean,
yeah,
199 is
190.
the cutoff.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I
Because
don't
now if you're
really,
doing less than that, now it's like, do I really want to buy this? Like,
yeah, especially,
that's just, it's telling.
yeah, because it doesn't make sense if I have, that much of a range of, I think, of price options on my suite. So I think that'd be a good idea. And I what have you thought from an outside perspective about how I've been, if we hadn't worked together before and you are an outside perspective and you are like looking at doing it for your business, where would you see that I'm not following through, or what I'm missing, or what questions I'm not answering? Where do you see like any major flaws in how I've been showing up, other than not posting every day? Because I know that.
So then you don't even have to post every day, because I don't even post every single day.
It's hard,
It's
dude.
just, it's just, so your messaging is good. So
Okay.
what you have on your website, what you have on your social media, it matches. So it's good.
Okay.
Where I guess the gap is the personal branding. Because yes, even though you do post about, if I didn't know you, and I would be like, let me look a little bit more, because I have people like that. Even to this day, I've been watching you for 2 years. I've been watching you for 3 years. I'm ready now.
Yeah,
Because they
me
just
too.
want to see how I don't say how active, but like how committed you are to also what you do for you.
Should I be doing that on my personal page or on my business page?
So
Because
this
I
is
think,
why I had to merge
yeah.
my personal with my business. And that's why I only have one Instagram. Now I also have a podcast Instagram, but that's like a set it and forget it. Now I don't want you to be like, damn, now I gotta make a Zenith Creative Co. my only page. I mean, yeah, in a bigger picture, yes, because remember, personal brand is so important now on social media.
Yeah.
That is why people buy from people. That is why brands are now switching to influencers, like bigger brands, social. So
No, you're absolutely right.
if you are someone who hates showing up, listen, I get it. I don't know if you saw my, oh yeah, you did. When you commented, yes, girl, that's it. I know it's a headbanger, okay? But let me tell you something. It's gonna work out yet. It's hard at first, but your body, your mind, it will get used to it. You just have to force it, because you know what's at stake. If there
Yeah.
was no consequence, if there was no whatever, then whatever. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah.
But because you rely on this, it has to happen.
Yeah.
Why do you
Yeah.
have social medias if you're not going to be social on it? What's the
Yeah.
point? And then there's no point in having a business brand if you don't have a personal brand now. Because back then, 5 years ago, wouldn't matter.
Right.
Doesn't matter. But now, after COVID is what changed everything pretty much. Pandemic,
Oh,
2020,
yeah.
now you have to have a personal brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, one question I want to ask you is, who do you have on your social media that before you post, you think about those people?
Who do I have on my social media that before I post, I think about these people? So, oh, all right. I see what you're saying. So, who am I thinking about
Like,
before I
oh,
get
well,
on?
they're gonna see this. What are they gonna think? And I know it sounds like repetitive, but it's true. If you have family members, if you have past friendships, if you have people that are just from your past,
I can't tell you how much I do not care. I cannot express to you how much I don't care. I mean, for God's sakes, I'm living in a box on wheels. If I cared what anybody thought, I would not be here. Like when I go to post things, it's funny because when you ask like, oh, who are you thinking about? And I know this is gonna sound bad and good, but it's like when I think about who I think about before I post, I don't think about anybody like that. I don't think about like, oh well, if I post this, the people I grew up with are gonna think I'm like cringy. Like I literally don't.
okay,
The first
great,
reel I
good.
ever posted on my business page was me doing the jerk with a champagne bottle in my hand. I don't care about that. I think it's more in the sense of it's more my perfectionism in the sense of being like, well, I'm showing up as a business owner, and it's more in the sense of, so me branding, my whole thing is if you don't show up consistently a certain way, right? If you don't show up with a certain level of professionalism, people are going to think A, B, and C. So when it comes to like my personal brand, like, you have to realize, like, first of all, you understand growing up in a strict environment, right? Like I grew up with a very strict father. If I walked out of the house with a wrinkle on my shirt, he would say, get back in this house and iron your shirt. You look nuts, right? Then I went to being in ballet. I was a ballet dancer. I did point, and I had a Russian point ballet instructor, and everything about how I presented myself, it was like, don't show up if your hair's like this or this is like this, right? So it's very hard for me to, and like as a photographer and as a videographer, I'm constantly thinking about lighting, I'm constantly thinking about this, I'm constantly thinking about the audio, I'm constantly thinking about this. So it's you know, I remember when I first started posting on Instagram for my business, if I posted something and I realized that when I was editing, I left a tiny little white sliver like this on the side of my post, I would delete it, go back in, fix that tiny little slit, and then redo it. And it's insane, right? It's nuts, right? So it's tough for me sometimes, you know, because in this living situation too, it's tough for me to want to constantly post because I'm like, oh, you know, there's holes in this wall still, and I don't have my decorations up, and you could see this and you could see that, right? It's obviously a mental thing, right? It's not anyone else who's telling me this stuff. It's obviously a mental thing. So it's tough to get past that and post it. And like you said, it's gonna have to be something that I just have to get over it. You know, I know for a fact that when I post things that are more personal about my life, it does push my stuff out more. I know it does when I'm less obsessive about the lighting and things like that. I think maybe two of my most popular TikToks are of me just sitting in my car with my hair like this. I hadn't showered, and I'm like, look at this thing I found when I was digging through trash side of the church. Look at how cool it is. And people are like, yay, this is great. So like,
You know why that happened? Because you're
because people like
relatable. You're
people, yeah, I
right
know.
now, you have to be relatable. And I hate to say it, you're not
I
because
know.
you don't want to be, but you are relatable. How
I
many
know.
people don't, girl, I wish I can travel the nation. Okay.
I know, but I think
You know,
I
like,
feel like that worked against me too sometimes. I feel like that worked against me.
why?
I don't know, because I feel like,
Because
and
you're
this
not
is
in the office,
so
because you don't have a
I,
computer.
this
You
is
have
this is gonna
Wi-Fi.
sound this is gonna sound horrible, but I feel like people were like, oh, well, she's not, I like she's out doing like cool stuff, which let me tell you something. I'm still struggling, even though I'm on the road. I'm struggling the same way I did. I'm just on the road, living the same life I was, except now I'm in a home on wheels, right? And I'm in a different state sometimes, right? But I'm still going through the same things that other people go through. You know what I mean? It's not, my life's not like bubbles and champagne because I have an
I'm
RV,
sure it's
right?
not.
Like,
Nobody's isn't.
same
But the
thing.
thing is,
Right.
like, in order for you to relate, because having relatable content, it should show like, okay, all right. So I'm Mara. I have relatable content, but I can also design your business. I can also
Right.
design your website.
Yeah.
You have to create your community first. You have to
Yeah.
create, because strangers to customers in between, it needs to happen. But they can't
Yeah.
just jump to be your customer from like one TikTok or like one reel or one story.
It's true.
It takes every
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
dedication, showing who you are, showing your struggles. You
Yeah.
probably know me already, what's been happening in my life, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
sometimes even me, I had the same thought as well. Like, man, if I show, like, first of all, my pricing does not match my vocabulary. My pricing does not, like, the way
Right.
sometimes I look does not match my,
Right.
you know what I mean? But
Right.
we have this mentality like, okay, we need to show up this way. But little do you know that there's people like, she's mad real. She's mad this. She's so
Yeah.
relatable. Like, why shouldn't I work with her?
Right.
What's. And
Yeah. I
that
think,
is how you're going to get your loyal customers, your loyal
yeah.
clients, your loyal people, grow your community where you don't have to force yourself to like post every day where, they even ask you like, Mama, what's happening? You haven't posted. I mean, like, you haven't posted in a week. What's happened? Girl,
Yeah.
I put my
Yeah.
phone down, like, I'm dead on my finger. Like,
No, and
so
you know,
you have to
when you
like,
say build your community, I think what my problem was is I think I got too comfortable because a community. Like I can name 20 people right now
but have you
that
nurtured your community?
the problem is I nurtured that community and then I stopped building the community. And then I just have these girls who I've either worked with or are like, what they're doing is the community is either people I've worked with and they're like continuing to like pump me up and hold me up and like share my stuff and everything. And then there's the people who I haven't worked yet and they're just working on getting their budget up and they're there and they're just kind of floating. But all I've done, excuse me, is nurture those people. I haven't tried to bring anyone else new in. I've just nurtured and like I feel like almost rely too much on word of mouth, because after a while that's all I was getting was just referrals, word of mouth, just one after the other. And I love that.
Which is
I
great.
love that.
It's
Yeah,
great.
that's
We're
great.
vouching for you, but it's not
But then
sustainable.
it fell off. But then it fell
Just
off because they ran
not
out of people to tell
sustainable.
me about.
So what
And
do you think you
yeah,
need to do?
I think so. I know on TikTok, people started asking for the RV stuff so much that I was like, I fell off of showing my branding and talking about branding on TikTok as much. So I think I need to reverse on that and find a better balance, find a better balance of that. I need to be consistent in it. And I think I need to find like maybe 2 or 3
Pillars.
pillars. Yeah. Pillars or categories or just content types. You know what I mean? Like
So
voiceovers.
here's the thing, because now you're just thinking too much about it. You're
Yeah.
thinking too much about content. And
Yeah.
remember, content is literally everything.
Yeah.
Anything that you're doing is content. So
Yeah.
let's try this, okay? Set timers on your phone for random times of the day and just record yourself doing whatever you're doing. Obviously, ethical things, you know what I mean? Whatever. But like, just record yourself doing things. But I have timers throughout my day. I have about 5 timers throughout the day. They sound whatever I'm doing with the kitchen cooking, with my kid, whatever I'm doing, just record 10 seconds of it, 15 seconds of it. Boom. All you have to do, slap some words on it, some educational words if you like, right? With a good CTA, right? But this is something where I would love for you to build your course as soon as possible. Obviously, don't rush it. Or your templates as soon as possible, maybe taking this week if you don't have,
Yeah.
but
No,
where you have people, now you're sending them to that. Okay. And then those same people, if they find some random unicorns where just like, what else does she have? Does she have something more? Can I work with her on a one-on-one? Now you're going to have your top tier services, right? Like, okay, cool. And then, you have because that's literally what I'm doing. Literally what
I
I'm
think
doing.
you're right. I do really, I think one of the biggest failures I have is not using CTAs properly at all. I truly, whenever I post on TikTok or Instagram, on Instagram, I'll put something like at the bottom, like CTAs usually for engagement purposes. You know what I mean? Really, my CTA is never, go grab this
Let
course.
go of the fear of CTAs. That's selling.
Yeah, yeah,
You had a fear of selling or you just don't like to sell. Let your CTAs do that.
yeah,
Doesn't matter. You're literally the only one. We are literally the only one thinking that it's cringe. On their end, they're just like, oh, cool, yeah, let me go grab it. Sure, let me go
yeah,
to your link in bio. People go to your
yeah,
link in bio all the time. But if you
yeah.
don't just give it my direction, go to my digital store. I have this one video that I posted like 8 months ago. It is my anklet. And I put link in bio in my Amazon storefront, and that video has made me like $800.
All right.
And it's still surfacing through TikTok. People are still saving it. My I don't know if you saw my video where the Amazon taking money from me. That one,
Yeah, yeah, that was the
1.4
one.
million
Yeah,
views. I
yeah.
was like, oh, let me make a digital product right now, 99 cents,
How many views you get on that?
1.4.
Hell yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, girl, it's pinned. Go check it out. Read my that I was like, let me look at a digital product real quick on how to find if you're getting charged 99 cents.
Yeah.
2K. Just like that. 99 cents.
What'd
You
you do, a
just
video or something, and how to explain how to do it?
yeah, it's a loom. You know what loom is? Loom?
Yeah.
Okay, so go here And then obviously through CapCut, I my zip code and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just
Yeah.
adapting,
Okay.
adapting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But for real, for real, for real, for real, for real, for real, 10 seconds, timers, whatever you're doing. And then now you're in bed, slap on educational, did you know? Well, people love the did you knows. People like to know little fun facts about
Yeah.
hey, head over to my bio and schedule a call with me if you're feeling so and so, or head over to my bio, my digital store, and start your business today. Buy the template. What's
Right.
one, whatever. What's 199?
Right.
Things like that. Like be straight up. People like straight up, not beating around the bush,
Yeah.
because now that's selling. That's deceptive.
I think I'll be able to do that. I think I'll be more confident in doing that when I have these smaller and mid-range options on my offer suite, because I always really just said like link in bio to see like the packages that I offer and stuff like that. But if I'm
It's
posting
no
these,
point of doing that,
yeah, yeah,
because you're
yeah,
not saying purchase. Like, go check it out. No, I don't want to. For what?
yeah,
Need it, you
there's
know?
no incentive. Yeah.
So I just think you need to get out of your own way and your own
Mhm.
mind and that blockage of perfectionism, because right now no business is perfect. No
Yeah,
business
yeah,
is perfect. And even so, people like imperfections.
yeah, they do.
It's relatable. It's something that like, oh, okay, I can achieve this. And maybe later on you can even add, which later on, but you can add a teaching course or a teaching masterclass, something of how to become a brand designer on wheels. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah,
But just things like that within your niche, you know what I mean? Within what you do. It's just
yeah,
adapting and adding different things, because people like options. If you
yeah,
only have these top tier options, not having, some type of say great messaging, because your message is good. It's just right now the way the economy is, nobody would like to give that amount.
they need
They
safer.
don't, yeah, they don't find it the need to, at least just yet. Because
Yeah,
if they
yeah,
really needed to, they would have done it by now. They would have
yeah,
already.
yeah,
Just pivot that way. You don't necessarily have to rebrand. You don't necessarily have to change anything. Your pricing, you don't have to, nothing like, just add a couple more things. Do a little bit more on your social media when it comes to your personal brand, because your business brand is top tier. It's great.
okay,
It matches what you sell, it matches your messaging, it matches who you're trying to attract. Great. The problem is now the economy. And this is what we were also talking about. I remember when we worked together, you were, I don't know if you were afraid of how the bigger pricing and the way things are changing, in the economy, and every year it's going to get worse. More
yeah,
and more people are going to want to do it themselves. So as a business owner, we're going to have to, adapt in a way where we're not also tainting basically our reputation or our business brand
yeah,
and all that stuff, but just adding more or pivoting it that way. So I think those are the gaps that are happening right now in your business, which is your personal brand, and adding more lower priced items where you're not trading time for money. Because even though you
yeah,
have the time, great, but you know how long it takes just for one client, the design process. Obviously, you tell me all the time. That's why I'm not a brand designer myself, like, no way, but you know
yeah,
this. So
yeah,
how can you, as someone who has these goals, has these things that you want to do, how can you place yourself or position yourself more in depth with the people that you want to serve? By
right,
pivoting, by adapting to their needs. Right now, they don't need, unfortunately, a whole. Right now, they
yeah,
need a template. So, what is MARRA going to do? Provide
yeah.
templates.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of pivoting for all of us in the next few years, even with AI coming out.
Yeah.
Like, dude, have you seen AI on Canva recently? Have you seen this magic thing they did?
No, but I do know about it, but I can't because it's too much. It's a lot.
Dude, it's
Like
kind of
everything,
scary.
it's everything that all the programs that I have some
Yeah.
type of AI thing now, you know?
Yeah, dude. Forgot what it's called. It's called like Magic Stick or Magic
Magic,
Shop.
yeah, magic erase or something. I don't know, but
Dude,
it's just
it's scary.
you can make like ebooks, like write me an ebook,
Yeah.
create me an ebook about brand design. Boom, you got yourself an ebook.
Boom, done. It's kind of crazy. Even an Illustrator, I mean, if I go into my Illustrator program and I sit here and I say, design me a lion's head illustration, it'll give me 50 different illustrations to choose from, and you
Yeah.
just pick one. Now, I'm not an illustrator, but to me, crazy. Like,
Hey, look, honestly,
hate that. That's
you could
crazy.
be adding all these things, you know,
Yeah, you gotta
not
adapt.
and not work the way we've been working basically up until 2 years
Yeah.
ago, you know?
Oh,
But
it's
you gotta be
every
smart about things. Like we gotta use things to our advantage. Like you can't just be like, oh, AI is great, but I could do it better. Like, no. Winning, okay?
yeah.
Just partner up with the AI and make
Yeah.
money for the day.
That's what's gonna have to be at this point. You said you're gonna have to adapt and you say, all right, how can I use this tool to like help me out without taking things away from me? It's gonna be really interesting, but this does help a lot. I really just needed to clarify it. Like, I do agree with everything. I do agree with everything that you're saying. I think I'm gonna focus my efforts on, oh, it's like literally time. I'm gonna focus my efforts on those smaller those smaller price points. And I think I'm going to be a lot more confident with marketing online to be able to do those, because I think this is what a lot of people have been missing. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate that, and I really needed this because I really am in a rut right now. So I
So
appreciate that.
do
This gives
that,
me,
of course. Just do that. Write three, or the industries that you most work with, the
yeah,
templates, the mini course.
yeah,
Now, what I'm gonna tell you that because I feel like I already know you. You remember, you're doing this low tiered pricing. Okay. Don't break your back going crazy, creating and
okay,
adding all these things, which sometimes the word giving too much, it sounds like great. Like I want them to know that I'm giving a lot, but it's also you're just devaluating yourself. You devaluating your business. And that's just gonna bring more perceptions of people to your brand. So simple template, right? Maybe like 4 tabs. I don't know how that works, right? 4 tabs. I don't know. Right? And about me for sure. And then
yeah,
the mini course.
yeah,
But if you
yeah.
do better, you can do also like talking. Just create the templates. People more visual learners than audio.
Very visual. I have a really good idea of how I'm going to do this. I think it's going to be a lot of green screen voiceovers,
Yeah,
directions
and people
type
love that.
stuff.
People, oh my god, they eat that up, yo.
They
Like,
eat it up, and it's easy. It's the easiest thing for me because I don't have to, you
that's
know,
amazing.
like
That's
your spot is great. You just press the button. Like for me, I got
And you can
just
even
give
do it
me
on
a
Canva
money.
too. They do that because that's how I created my
Yes.
course, by the way, if you didn't know. That's how
Wait
through
a
Canva.
second. They have the camera and you can record on the
Yeah, and
Canva.
then I have my little sound like, okay. So I did the templates on Canva, and then I
Girl.
had the record with me right there, and then I'm just talking. And even on the side, you can do notes. So I had bullet points, I had everything. Girl.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That makes my life. I was gonna go right to. I hate saying that. Don't tell people. I don't use Canva. If anyone's watching
I
this, I
know
don't.
you Stress, I know.
I'm gonna
Girl,
make this on Illustrator.
no, but Canva, I use Adobe, whatever.
Well, sometimes it's just about what can I do? What can I use to, what tools can I use to make this easier for myself? And sometimes that's just what you have to do. And, but I'm going to be pricing it, that way as well. It's not going to be, some multi-million dollar motion picture type thing. So,
Girl, yeah.
okay, that's good because I thought I was going to have to pull out my whole Nikon and all that stuff.
No, girl. If you used I mean, if you have like, because right now I have the
Yeah, I
Logitech,
got a little, yeah.
because I don't like my computer. It's like,
Oh, yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So you can just
Smart.
connect your camera.
Yeah.
You can Do you have my little camera here?
Look at you.
I know, right? Girl, what you think?
So funny. Oh my God.
Anyway, you can connect your camera. So you can and then have nice, as long as your audio is good, great, but also the picture just adds cherry on top.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Quality is important to me. Man, okay. I'll jump on Canva. I'm gonna dedicate this week to it because I do want to hit the ground running with this like before or during December because your girl needs it. So I'm sick of the whole, I'm gonna do this in January. No, I'm just gonna do it now.
One of those, like, you have 2 months.
Yeah.
And you could do a lot.
Yeah.
In 1 month, you can create your course. I'm sure in a week you could create a template. I mean, or 2 days. I don't know. You work pretty fast.
The Squarespace template. I thought it would take so much longer. I looked at a video. It's such a short thing. It's so much easier than I thought it would be. So yeah, it might work out pretty well for me. But listen, I mean, off the record, if there's anything that I can do for you, design wise, throughout the next few months too, just let me know and I'll just do it for you. Okay.
Oh, I appreciate it. I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah,
especially for this new thing that I'm like, just the designing part. Oh God, I could talk all day, but man, it's just sitting on a computer. I can't, man.
No. Just literally, if you're like, hey, I can you fine tune some stuff for me? Just send it over to me. I'll do it for you. Don't worry about it.
Oh my God, girl, crying. Like I'm sweating. But I'm glad I'm able to help you today, for real.
Yeah.
Just again, if you have any questions, just let me know.
I will.
But remember, simple. Now we're just talking like ones and twos. We're not talking a big elaborated thing. We're just trying to get the momentum going. We're just trying to get our clientele up. We're just trying to make a little bit more money or passive, because that's the goal. Passive, right? Where we're not trading time for money. But again, if you feel like you're just like, okay, you're too much into it, sit back and think about, who am I creating this for and what's the reason that I'm creating this? And that should bring you back, because sometimes it does happen to me where I create something like, oh, I'm gonna add this, I'm gonna add this, I'm gonna add this because I know so much and whatever, we need to know this, but then again, no, they don't.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do that every day. Yeah.
I know. So I just like, please. If you need to chat to I'll call you like, why do not?
Take it easy, tone it down. I've literally written something and then gone into like Chat GPT and been like, can you dumb this down for me, please? And it helps a little bit, but it's trying not to use Chat GPT because it works against your favor most days and makes you too robotic.
For the templates, whatever, but for the mini course, don't make like 2 hours, like, okay, to create this, no, easy peasy, because then there's literally no point in you creating that course.
Oh, if I got something and I saw the video was longer than 10 minutes, I'm not doing it. Like, chances are I'm not doing it. So even if it was longer than 10 minutes, I'd have to break it up into different, like you said, like 4 modules or whatever, which I can definitely do. Okay. I'm kind of excited. Okay, cool. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
This is all I have for you today. If you found this episode super helpful, let me know in the comments or whatever platform you're listening to on or subscribe to. Let's connect on the DMs. Catch me on Insta at Teresa G. Cvac. And so I'll see you soon.